Do you know who the most powerful person is? Not the one who talks the most. Not the one who has an answer for everything. Not the one who keeps explaining himself to everyone. The most powerful person is the one who knows how to stay silent, even when the whole world is demanding answers from him. About 500 years ago, a man understood this truth. His name was Machiavelli, and he wrote a book that made kings stronger and left the weak exactly where they were. He said, "The person who constantly explains himself slowly loses his power." Today's video is not just information, it is a mirror in front of you. And maybe after today, you will never be the same again. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you explained your life to someone? When did someone ask you, "Why did you do that?" and you immediately sat down to explain yourself? Maybe it happened yesterday, maybe this morning, maybe just before watching this video, and you probably thought, "Good, now everything is clear. Now they understand me." But the truth is, the more you explained, the weaker you looked. The more you justified yourself, the more power the other person gained. It may sound strange, but it is true. And today, I will show you a truth that almost nobody talks about. Listen to this story. There was a hard-working and honest young man. He gave his full effort in everything he did. But he had one habit. He explained everything to everyone. "I did this because my intention was, you are misunderstanding me." He believed that if he was right, people should know it. But something strange started happening. The more he explained, the less people believed him. The more he tried to prove himself, the more people doubted him. One day, his closest friend asked him, "Why are you always in defensive mode? Why do you explain so much? You do not need anyone's certificate or approval." That day, his eyes opened. Now listen to what Machiavelli said. He said, "Power is a perception, and perception breaks the moment you start defending yourself." Think about it. When a king starts explaining his decisions, he no longer looks like a king. He looks like an employee giving a report to his boss. And the same thing happens to you every day. In relationships, in conversations, in daily life. When you say, "I didn't answer the call because I was late because that's not what I meant," you are basically saying, "Your opinion is very important to me. I cannot move forward without your approval. Please forgive me." And the moment you say that, power transfers from you to the other person. Now let's go deeper. This is not only about power, it is about self-respect. It is about dignity. When you explain yourself to someone, you send an invisible message. You are above me. You can judge me, and I must accept your judgment. But think about it. Is that person really perfect? Have they never made a mistake? Do they know everything? No, absolutely not. So why are you making them the judge of your life? Let me give you an example. You make a decision about your career, your relationship, or something important. Someone says, "You made the wrong choice. You should not have done that." Normally, what do? You explain. "No, actually, the situation was, you don't understand. I had no other options." And the more you speak, the more questions they ask. "But you could have done this. I think you rushed into it." It never ends. Never. But if you simply say, "Yes, I made that choice," or just smile and stay silent, the other person has nothing left to attack, because you never gave them the power they wanted. Now let's go even deeper. Do you know why people ask for explanations? There are two reasons. The first reason, they genuinely want to understand. This is rare, but it happens. The second reason, And this is much more common. They want control. When someone repeatedly asks, why? For what reason? How could you do that? They are actually testing one thing. Will you give them power or not? And the moment you start explaining, you lose. Machiavelli understood this very well. He said, "The person who constantly justifies his actions plants the seed of doubt." In other words, when you keep explaining, people start thinking, there must be something wrong. Otherwise, why is he defending himself so much? But when you stay silent, people think, this person trusts himself. This person is strong. There is something about him that I cannot fully understand. And that is power. The power of mystery. The power of being difficult to read. I know this is easy to hear and difficult to do, because since childhood, we have been trained to explain ourselves. Tell me what happened. Explain why you did that. Justify your actions. We were taught that if we do not explain ourselves, people will misunderstand us. People will get upset. People will leave us alone. But that is a lie. The truth is, the people who truly understand you do not need explanations. And the people who do not understand you will never understand, no matter how much you explain. So who are you really explaining yourself to? Now let's talk about an important shift. Understand the difference between communication and explanation. There is a huge difference. Communication means, I am telling you what is happening because I want to. Explanation means, I am telling you what is happening because you expect it, and I need your approval. The difference is intention. If you share something by choice, that is power. If you share it under pressure, that is weakness. And people can feel the difference in your voice, in your body language, in your energy. Another example. Imagine you are in a relationship. Your partner constantly asks, "Where were you? Who were you with? Why did you reply so late?" Normally, what do? You explain everything. You send screenshots. Look, I was here. Look, this person called me. And you think, good, now trust has been built. But the truth is, trust is not built through explanations. Trust is built through presence. Trust is built through consistency. Trust is built through time. And the more you explain, the more the other person thinks. Why does he need to explain so much? Maybe he is hiding something. Next time this happens, simply say, if you trust me, that's fine. If you don't, that's your decision. Then stay silent. That is strength. That is self-respect. And that is true power. Machiavelli also said something else. When you stay silent, you give the other person space to face their own insecurities. When you do not explain yourself, you are basically saying, that is your problem, not mine. And that is one of the most powerful statements you can make without speaking a single word. Now imagine a life where you do not have to prove yourself to anyone. A life where you make decisions and move forward. A life where people question you and you simply smile. A life where your confidence comes from your silence, from your presence, from your actions. That is freedom, real freedom. And it comes when you understand. I do not need anyone's approval. Now it is your turn. You have to make a decision today.